10 friends, all eager for a weekend getaway, had decided on a whim to rent an old English castle they'd found online. The pictures promised a picturesque retreat with sprawling grounds and medieval charm. Little did they know that this seemingly idyllic escape would become a nightmarish ordeal. The castle, named Ravenswood, stood on a lonely hill, shrouded in mist and surrounded by ancient oak trees. As they arrived, the towering structure loomed over them, its weathered stones and darkened windows giving it an imposing and slightly eerie appearance. The friends, Sarah, Mike, Jenna, Tom, Emily, Liam, Rachel, Alex, Olivia, and Jake, were buzzing with excitement, eager to explore their grand and mysterious accommodation. Inside, the castle was just as magnificent as the photos had promised. Opulent tapestries hung from the walls, grand chandeliers cast dim light over the stone floors, and antique furniture filled the rooms with a sense of historical grandeur. They split up to explore the castle, their laughter and chatter echoing through the empty halls. In the evening, after settling in and enjoying a lavish dinner, they gathered in the great hall for drinks and games. The atmosphere was jovial, but an undercurrent of unease began to stir as the night wore on. A chilling draft swept through the castle, making the temperature drop suddenly. The group shrugged it off as a quirk of the old building, but the cold seemed to seep into their bones. Later, as the friends explored the castle's library, they stumbled upon an old journal buried beneath a pile of dusty books. The journal belonged to a previous occupant of the castle, Lord Ravenswood, and detailed bizarre and unsettling events. The final entries were cryptic and harrowing, speaking of disturbed spirits and a reckoning that must be satisfied. Tom, feeling a sense of morbid curiosity, began to read the passages aloud. As he did, the room grew colder, and a palpable sense of dread settled over the group. Shadows seemed to stretch and writhe on the walls, and an eerie silence fell over the castle. That night, the friends retired to their rooms, but sleep did not come easily. The castle's creaks and groans seemed amplified, and whispers filled the dark corners of their minds. Sarah was the first to experience the supernatural presence. In her room, she was awakened by a soft, mournful wail. She turned on her bedside lamp, but the light flickered and went out, plunging her into darkness. A shadowy figure emerged from the corner of her room, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. It reached out towards her, and Sarah could feel an icy grip on her arm. She screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the oppressive silence. The next morning, the group gathered in the great hall, shaken by the night's events. They discussed the journal's ominous entries and realized that the castle was more than just an old building. It was a vessel for vengeful spirits. The friends decided to leave, but as they packed their belongings, they discovered that their phones and car keys had mysteriously disappeared. Panic set in as the sun began to set. The castle seemed to come alive with malevolent energy. Doors slammed shut, trapping them inside, and ghostly apparitions began to appear, their eyes hollow and their expressions twisted with anger. The friends tried to escape, but every attempt was thwarted by supernatural forces. Desperate, they turned to the journal for answers. It described a ritual, a way to appease the spirits by offering something of great personal value. With no other options, they decided to perform the ritual, hoping it would appease the restless souls and allow them to escape. As they gathered in the great hall, the temperature dropped again, and the spirits materialized, their forms now clearer and more defined. They watched with an eerie silence as the friends placed their personal items on the altar, a symbol of their willingness to sacrifice something valuable. The ritual began, the friends chanting the ancient words from the journal. The ghosts grew restless, their anger palpable. The air crackled with supernatural energy, and the castle seemed to shake with the intensity of the spirit's wrath. Just as it seemed the ghosts would overwhelm them, A blinding light filled the room. The spirits, now glowing with an otherworldly radiance, began to dissipate, their anguished wails fading into a distant echo. The castle's oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the doors creaked open, offering a path to freedom. The friends stumbled out into the fresh air, their faces pale and their spirits broken. They looked back at Ravenswood, now a silent and empty shell, and vowed never to return. The castle remained a haunting memory, a reminder of the vengeful spirits that had sought their pound of flesh. In the years that followed, Ravenswood fell into disrepair, its legend growing with each passing year. Those who dared to approach spoke of the chilling whispers and ghostly figures that still haunted the abandoned halls, serving as a grim reminder of the price of disturbing the dead.